Ready as whenever be, I suppose.
Yeah. Shalom Israel. Before we start, I want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakha, Kodash.
Yeah, double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well. To the Akims and the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity.
That's right.
And to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now it's kind of windy out there today, so hopefully it ain't too bad on the audio. But either way,
nice,
either way we're just gonna push through. Got a little spot underneath the trees because it's been raining on and off, so we're gonna deal with it like this. I'm gonna grab our Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Got it.
Yeah. Because what you have to realise, from the beginning of time, our disobedience has been what's been getting us into this situation that we're in.
That's right.
And it's only once our obedience is fulfilled, well, like how it's being fulfilled now, we're returning to the Father, and we're starting to forward these prophecies. So things are starting to advance now. This is why we're seeing all these things happening, because we're starting to return to the Lord and do what we should have done in the first place. So
That's right.
get that out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him.
And this is what we ain't been doing from the midst of time. Adam started off fearing the Lord, and then he transgressed, and then Moses came to us, gave us the law again, and since then we've just been going off. So it says this is what is required of us from the Most High.
That's right.
Yeah, read.
And to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul. Verse 13, to keep the commandments of the Lord.
And this is how we do everything the brother just read in verse 12. Right. Yeah, when we apply the commandments to the best of our ability, this is how we show the Most High that we love him, through our obedience.
That's right.
To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
And this was a commandment which was given to us for our good. When the Most High told Adam, keep the commandments, that was for his good. You said you got a precept?
Yeah.
Precept.
Ezekiel 37, and I'll start at 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. So remember, like Israel was, dead, right? Dry bones because of how people not following the commandment, right?
Before you continue, you got a precept.
That's right, because our people weren't following the commandment, and that's why we were in this situation. We were like, the Most High, spoke to us as dry bones, because anytime we go into sin, anytime we go into idolatry, we lose that life.
We're dead, man.
We're dead.
Since Proverbs 21 and 16 says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding. Now the understanding is when we apply the word to our lives.
That's right.
It says, the man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
That's right. All right. And verse 8, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above. All right, so, as you can see, Yasharala is waking up.
Yeah.
We know that we're Israelite, but there's something that a lot of us are not willing to do, or are not strong enough yet to do, and it's the next. But there was no breath in them. So we need a breath, and the breath represents the laws. We need to follow the law. That's the only way, as a people, we become strong again. That's the only way we will become strong, and we will, actually have victory over our enemies.
That's right. Because the Most High is going to start fighting for us anyway.
That's right.
Start to come back to what he
told
us to do.
That's right.
Then he can start to defend us.
That's right.
Bring it that second Ezra 3, read from 7.
The next one.
It's in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 7. And unto him thou gavest commandments.
So it said, unto him thou gavest commandments. The him we're talking about is Adam.
That's right.
God.
To love thy way, which he transgressed.
And it's the same thing which Moses said to us. You know, what does the Lord require of us? To fear him, to walk in his ways, to love him.
That's
etc.
right. That's right.
But it says, which he transgressed. God.
Which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him.
So
That's
from
right.
Adam transgressed the laws, you know, death came into us.
That's right.
This is why we go through the sicknesses that we go through today, all these illnesses, because of sin. Yeah, because we transgressed the laws of the Most High.
That's right.
Read.
That's right.
And in his generations, of whom came nations.
And we are part of those generations. So this thing's got a domino effect. Yeah, it's got a domino effect. When you read Psalm 78 and 5, yeah, it says that the Most High appointed a law in Israel, which we were meant to teach our children,
Yeah,
and then
from
their
generation to
children.
generation.
Yeah. So this thing has a domino effect. You don't just stop at you because you decided not to keep the laws. Yeah, you won't then teach it to your children, so they end up in your footsteps.
That's right.
Yeah, read.
That's right.
Of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. Verse 8. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments.
And that's what we see today. Like brothers, they make videos, they go out, they teach our people who they are, that we must come back to keeping the laws to the best of our abilities.
Right.
And people still walk in their own ways. Most people walk up and down, don't really pay no notice.
That's right.
You know, and despise it.
That's right. And you have Dennis Rodman. He had he was talking with Mike Tyson, and he said that he had a plane to speak to God, and Mike Tyson asked him how. He said he would take a plane in high altitude. At some point, it will come out with a parachute, and it will face the heaven like that.
Yeah,
and maybe God will speak to him. And I was like, how people are bugged out.
He will speak to him. He said, don't tempt me, so now you're going to
Hey,
die.
how people are bugged out, man. It's so easy. The most I say this, follow the laws, have faith, and I will bring you out. But it's so easy that Jake has a problem with it. If it was hard, difficult, maybe they'll do the best to get it, but because it's so easy, they don't take heed, man.
That's why when it says Deuteronomy 30, talks about this law ain't far from thee, that you have to go over the hills. And,
That's right, that's right.
Go to the deep.
Because he knows his people.
Yeah.
He know that Jake
They'll
is
use
funny like
as an
that.
excuse.
That's right.
Yeah, boy,
That's
you know,
right.
I did try, but it's too deep or it's too far.
It's too
and,
far away.
Too hot.
Yeah,
You know?
we're full of excuses. We're full of it, as they say. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High knows. That's why he keeps it simple, man. Proverbs 7 and 2. Keep my commandments and live. You can't get simpler than that.
That's right.
Hold on. Keep my commandments and
And
live.
live.
5 words. Yeah? That's what he broke it down to. 5 words.
That's
and we're
right.
still having problems with that.
That's right.
Yeah, go on, my brother.
Verse 9 of 2nd Ezra chapter 3. And again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon these that dwell in the world.
So he brought the flood upon them in the world. Why? Because they went off. They chose to do their own thing.
That's right.
And this time, he ain't bringing no flood, because Most High knows man's going to start building boats and them things. We learned from that.
Yeah, we learned from that. That's Jake. Jake is ready, man.
Now we've got submarines.
Jake is so ready. It's
You know what I'm
unbelievable,
saying?
man.
So the Most High say, yeah, your boat
Fire.
and submarine ain't helping you this time round. Yeah, go on. You got something?
No, I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to say the same thing. It's
Yeah.
okay, man. You already
Go on.
carry on.
And destroyeth them. Verse 10. And it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these.
That's right.
And this
That's
time
right.
round now, like we said, it's going to be fire, man. The Most High ramping. He's doing a proper purification.
That's right.
You know?
Because fire is a purifier. Fire
That's right.
purifies. You know, so you have to purify the earth before he set up the new kingdom.
Yeah. And
You
also,
know?
let me get this out.
And he does say, with that fire, we're talking firmament heat. So
That's
it's not
right.
just a little blaze that you can stand with your hands warming over the fire.
That's right.
Like you're cooking marshmallows. It's
real.
not that kind of fire.
It's gonna bring the real
Yeah.
fire, man.
Yeah.
This
You
is
know?
Numbers, and this is why he needs the fire. Numbers, chapter 35,
Yeah. 33, isn't it?
Yeah, verse 33 says, So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein,
That's right.
but by the blood of him that shed it.
That's
so when
right.
we look at history and how, these lands have been possessed by these other nations, it's been through bloodshed. So the only way you're going to cleanse the land is through shedding the blood of him that shed it. And the best way to do that, the easiest way to pure, because I remember in the Caribbean, when you work in a land, you dig it up and then you set fire to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It purifies it, man.
Yeah.
You get
the Most
everything
High
ready.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And that's how you know
and
that
then
Jake
dig
yes.
that up, and it's ready for your planting after a while.
Jake has it in him, man. Jake knows.
Yeah.
You know?
So the Most High knows, man. He said, I'm going to purify this land, and he's going to purify it with fire.
Yeah. Let me read that one quickly as well. Like Leviticus 18 and 24. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which are cast out before you.
That's right. And this is what happens. Yeah, these nations, they defile themselves by the things that they do.
That's right. And 25. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants.
And that's why we're kicked out of the land today.
That's
as well.
right.
Yeah, because we defiled the land.
You know what I mean?
We going off, straying from the laws of the Most High, going into wickedness. The Most High couldn't keep us in the land. That's why when
the judge.
Yeah, that's why when the kingdom comes and we have the law in us, the land's going to be glad to see us.
That's right.
Because we won't be
That's
defiling
right.
it.
That's right. And that's the reason why the Most High has to burn up the earth. In the most part, like Babylon, these places, certain places, because there was, and especially Israel, because there's too many wickedness, man. Too much wickedness. The Most High has to purify the land before he even set up the kingdom. So no one can escape, man. But for you to escape it, guess what? You're gonna have to keep the law and keep the faith. Because obviously you're gonna tell me, no one can keep the law 100%. Yes, you're right. But that's why Yahweh Shai gave his blood. And what does he say in Judges 5 and 11? Rehearse it. Rehearse the righteous acts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. There's something I was reading earlier on as well. Hold on. Talking about that same thing about us and the land,
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to keep this law. This is serious business, And it's not like we're talking about ourselves as well. It's not easy to keep the law because you were born in a system that abide by iniquity. Like everything they do is based on iniquity. It's contrary, it's opposite to the law of the Most High. So it's gonna be difficult. But he said rehearse. You're gonna have to rehearse. And those who don't rehearse it, like he say in Amos 9 and 10. Read Amos 9 and 10 before you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this anyway.
He's gonna have to destroy some of our people, man. Those who don't keep it. And that doesn't make him a wicked God. It make him a righteous and a just God, a balanced God.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
That's right. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
Which say, the evil shall not overtake us.
That's right. Evil shall not, because our people don't understand the spiritual realm, how it works. Because they're so caught up into Esau's system and way of thinking that they think they will be there forever. And they put their trust and money and, material, which is not the case.
Which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
And I'm sure that's what they were saying before coronavirus. There's people out right now that have businesses, but today, like they're done. I'm talking about big businesses, but they lost it all in one day because of coronavirus. That's what the Most High does, man. So if he can do what he did now, what else? Think about it, man. What else can he do? And it will be much more, it will be worse, man. So our people need to really, learn the way. He's a merciful God. That's why he gave us, grace. If he wasn't merciful, he wouldn't give it grace. He gave us grace because he's merciful. So let's use that. It's like in laws, you got loophole. People use loophole. Some businesses, they use a loophole to avoid paying tax, right? So that's our loophole. The grace is our loophole.
That's right.
So let's use it so we can have mercy on that day. And can you read?
And we have to remember that loophole isn't forever.
That's right.
So we have to bear that in mind also.
That's right.
That it's not something that we dwell on and we live in it forever.
But that's what he says, isn't it? Because they say no evil.
I'll get the first.
Yeah, let me check it first and then read it.
I was reading it today.
It's not even that. Read Amos 5 and 18. Amos 5 and 18, man. Because there's a day that is coming that people are not talking about. People, they keep a blind eye on it, but it's real.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Why does he say that? Carry on.
To what end is it for you that, for what end is it to you the day of the Lord is darkness?
The day of the Lord is darkness.
And not light.
So that day, because you got Christians thinking about we're gonna wait for him to come and take us out of here.
They got that rapture.
Man.
They have that rapture.
That's foolishness.
That's what they have. That
The
being
Most High's
taken up
coming
into the cloud before all destruction.
Well, he will take his elect. That is true. But I'm not sure that he will take no Christian, So you have to come out of that lie and prepare yourself. This is serious business, man. Our people.
Like I was saying, we got kicked out of the land because of the wickedness that we were doing.
That's right.
This is Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 9. It says, "For when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, the Most High has brought upon me great mourning."
That's right.
Yeah. "For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning."
That's right.
It says, "Let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate."
That's right.
So this is why we're not in the land now, and we've got other people in there.
That's right.
It says, because they departed from the law of the Most High.
That's right.
They knew not his statutes, nor walk in the ways of his commandments,
That's right.
nor trod in the paths of discipline
That's
in
right.
his righteousness.
That's right.
So, from Adam, transgress the laws, it's a trickle-down effect, man. So we have to come back to keeping these laws to the best of our ability. Got us kicked out of our home. Now we're in other people's land being mistreated. Actually, let me read up a bit. Because it even asks a question, like, how did we end up in the situation we're in?
That's right.
This is Baruch chapter 3, verse 10. It says, "How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country,
That's right.
that thou art defiled with the dead?" Yes, so then you know that these other people are dead, man, and we're defiled with them because we keep following their ways. Instead of keeping the customs that the Most High gave us, holy customs that set us apart from these other nations, we want to be like them. So now we're defiled with the dead. Yeah, we've wandered, like I read in Proverbs 21:16, we've wandered out of the way of understanding.
And we're part of the congregation of the dead.
Yeah.
Read that one. 1 Peter 4 and 17.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. "For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
That's right.
And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?"
That's right. And even that one proved to you, Christian, that Esau cannot be saved, man. Cannot be saved. Esau, Ishmael, they're gonna be judged hard. But the Most High said he will judge you as well. He will judge us as well. He will start, with his sanctuary. Like he says in Ezekiel 9 and and 4, 4, and 6. It will start. So we have to get ready, man. Because if you thought coronavirus was a big deal, that's nothing to compare to what's coming. We got way more body and stuff like this. I mean, wicked stuff, or I would say, you know, scary stuff, like stuff that will make you fear, stuff that will make you tremble, man.
You know what that reminds me
Pure
of?
darkness.
It's, I can't remember whereabouts. It's in the Apocrypha where they speak about when the Most High brought the darkness upon Egypt.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
it was
you,
dark
yeah,
and
you
dark.
couldn't see a candlelight.
Couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
And like he was just pranging them out with apparitions and all
That's
and
right.
everything there. You know, so yeah. Our people
And he
don't
said he
know
will
nothing,
bring
man.
your fear. He will
Bring your fears upon you.
He will manifest, like the thing that you fear the most. That's what you have to deal with.
Right.
In those days, man. So before it's too late, just take it upon yourself and go step by step.
Repent,
The
man.
Most High is merciful,
That's right.
because sometimes I look at my life,
Let me bring it out.
and I mean, like, wow, he must be a merciful.
Psalms
Yeah,
89, I think.
that's right. He must be merciful, man, because I did some stuff that I'm not proud of, but I'm here now preaching the gospel. You know what I'm saying? And you got some people, they're nice people, but they just don't believe because,
81.
for the most part, they were born in this system, or they were educated by Esau, and they have a way of thinking that is the same as Esau's. So they don't believe in God. The atheists, they don't believe in God, but they're nice people. But that day, listen, because people, I heard someone tell me, well, as long as I have a good heart, I'm good. No,
But what is good?
no.
Yeah, when you read
Exactly, what is good?
Romans 7 and 12, it says, for the law is holy, the commandments holy, just and good.
That's
Unless
right.
you keep in the will of the Most High.
You're wicked, man.
Yeah, that's right.
So you may be sharing, kind, also, but if you don't
And the
keep...
wicked do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point. But if you don't keep the law, the Most High sees you as wicked.
That's right.
So when it comes with the judgment, you're going to be part of it. You're going to be a victim.
Yeah. And when
know?
the brother said about the Most High is merciful, read that, brother.
Yeah.
This is the book of Psalms,
And let me
chapter
bring out
98,
from
verse
that,
2.
That's right.
The Lord has made known his salvation.
That's
His
right.
righteousness has he openly showed in the sight of the heathen.
That's right. That's right.
Verse 3. He has remembered his
He
mercy
said he has remembered his mercy. Now who's his mercy with? God.
and his truth towards the house of Israel.
Now to everybody.
Towards the house of
And
Israel.
when it comes to mercy and
The
truth,
Most High, yeah.
all this is towards the house of Israel.
That's right.
Is there more?
Yeah.
You go on.
All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God.
And you're going to
That's
see
right.
it again, yeah? Like it says in Wisdom Solomon 5 and 2.
That's right.
Yeah? You're going to see it again.
That's right.
But this is another precept onto what the brother just read. This is Wisdom of Solomon 4. In verse 15 it says, this the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints,
That's right.
and that he has respect unto his chosen.
That's
You know?
right.
So we need, and it says they've not even laid it up to mind. You know what I'm saying?
For real, man.
Yeah,
His mercy, his
and-
mercy.
Yeah, it's with his with his
mercy,
saints, man. Who's the saints?
For
Well,
real.
I'll
The saint and
grab
Israel.
that.
Let me read that one quickly as
Yeah,
well
go on.
and grab your what
He's
are
gonna
you
get the saints. Let him just quickly
Yeah, yeah,
clarify.
I get that,
I
get
was just
that,
gonna
get that,
clarify,
get
yeah.
Yeah. So it says his grace and his mercy is with his saints, and he has respect unto his chosen.
That's right.
Okay, this is Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalts the horn of his people.
That's right.
Of his people.
Yeah, that's
Note
right.
that point.
Possessive.
Yeah. The
Always.
praise.
Carry on, carry on.
Yeah. The praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel,
Keep
right.
reading, keep reading.
a people near unto him.
Yeah, read on.
Praise ye the Lord.
Yeah, read on.
Chapter 149, verse 1 of Psalms. Praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord a new song,
Read.
and his praise in the congregation of saints.
Read on.
Let Israel,
Let who?
let Israel
Read.
rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king.
So when it comes to the saints, the scriptures lets you know who the saints are, man.
That's right.
And who his chosen
That's
are.
right.
It's not everybody he
That's
chose.
right.
You can't find that in the scriptures. That's a make-believe.
Right.
Yeah?
Let me read that one as well, about the mercy. Well, the Most High will always have mercy on Jacob, man. Isaiah 14, he said, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob,
See there?
and will yet choose Israel.
That's 3 different precepts telling you the
So
same
come on,
thing,
man. The Most High have mercy on you lot, man. It's just that, you know, if you grow up in a system, right, when you wake up in the morning, all you see is the enemy face. You know, God is the enemy. God has the enemy face on TV. Do you know what I'm saying? When you read the Bible, you feel far away from that, because all the patriarchs, all the, like the Moses, the prophet, seem to be, Edomites. But it's not the case. And that's why the Most High, he chose few, prophets to give you that word, so you can have confidence. So when you read the Bible, you put yourself in the Bible, and you understand that, oh, the same people that are spoken about in the Bible are my ancestors. So that way, it makes you understand that, oh, I'm Yesharallah, I'm Israel. Do you know what I'm saying? That's because the only reason why today we know who we are is because he manifested his mercy in our life. If it wasn't for his mercy, we would have been, wanting to be these other nations.
We'll be dead.
And just
We'll
to
be dead.
yeah,
Like
just
you
to
said, the
add
Bible
to what the
says.
brother said as well, is that these Christian churches that we grew up in through our grandparents coming up to our parents,
That's
to
right.
us, they never teach us who we are.
That's right.
And who the real children of
No,
Israel
they
right.
teach you. I was taught as a Gentile.
Yeah,
That's right, that's right, that's right.
We always been taught that people that that are Israelis today in Israel, they are the Israelites. That's how we always knew they
Which
were
is
the
not the
Jews.
case.
And we always believed we were Afro-Caribbean, African-American, African, all these other places which were only determined where you were born, which you really, it's the seed of your father, it determines your race.
That's what we're teaching them right now. That's why the Most High brought that vibration, so that people know who they are, because we've been lied to.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at this analogy, now, if my parents had me in China, would I now be Chinese?
That's right.
And would I have the inheritance of them slant eyes and the,
That's right. That's
would I
right.
have that feature
That's
because
right.
I was born in China? So that just goes to prove you are who
That's
your
right.
father
You are
is,
who your
not
father is,
where
yeah.
you were born, the land where you were born in.
Let me just bring out one more
That's
precept
right.
on mercy, and then we
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
This is Psalms 102, verse 13. It says, "Thou shalt arise and have mercy upon Zion,
That's right.
for the
That's
time to favor her. Yea, the set time is come."
That's right. But then, the Most High being a judge, it's here 7 and 2024. Yeah.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah. You can have it. You can have it if you want to read it. I have it here.
I find that a little bit
Yeah.
fine.
Right. Okay. So basically, yes, the most 7 and 20 and 24. Yeah. So, yes, the Most High will have mercy on us, but there's a condition. There's a term, and that term is to follow the law. That term is to follow the law, is to have faith. It's not gonna be like a walk in the park. But look, you've been through hell already, man. When you're a woman and you all you wear is, someone else, another nation hair, that's hell. That is hell, man. When you're a man and your last name is the slave master name, that's hell. So what else haven't you been through already? You've been through everything. Now it's time. All you have to do is switch in hell.
Let's just clarify that as well. This is Daniel.
It's switch it, man. Just switch it and learn the new way, and you'll be fine. You don't have to be perfect. Just rehearse it. And to be honest with you, once you get into it, you will hate everything that has to do with your enemies, man.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 12. It says, "And he has confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
That's right.
For under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem."
That's right.
So we've been through it all, man. Yeah. The least we can do now is come back to what got us into this trouble in the first place, and that's breaking the commandments.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And what we have to do, we have to be perfect, but in the eyes of the Most High.
right.
There's the difference between perfection in man's eyes and perfection in the eyes of the Most High.
Yeah.
The laws and statutes and commandments makes us perfect
That's
in
right.
the Most High's
That's
eyes.
right.
And that's the perfection we need to seek,
That's right.
not man's approval.
That's right.
Because when
That's
you
right.
read 1 Kings chapter 11 and 4, I believe it is.
That's what I read it.
Yeah, grab that. Yeah, he talks about King David. We know that King David
He
went
wasn't.
off.
Yeah, he went off, but
Yeah, but what does the Most High say about him? 1 Kings 11 and 4.
Isn't that Solomon?
Yeah, but it says something about him.
for it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wife turned away.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah?
Yeah, read that.
Oh yeah. Come. 1 King 11 and 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect.
What?
But his heart was not perfect
Like what?
with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David, his father.
So you see what I'm saying? So,
But David went off. He
So-
took someone else's wife, and then he killed that guy. That's going off.
but the Most High
But
still
the
saw
Most
him
High is
perfect because he
perfect.
repented and came back to keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Man,
man.
to be real, when you read this song, man, this guy, he loved Yahweh, man. He loved Yahweh.
Of course.
And he was humble enough to know that it was, every time he was humble enough to know that, you know, it was a sinner. And he always relied on the Most High Yahweh,
That's right,
knowing that
right.
without the Most High, he's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, just
know
like
what I mean?
you said, it's just like the incidents where, what's it called? David who numbered the people.
Yeah.
And then realised, oh, I'm in a great strait.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he had to choose.
He has to choose me.
Read one of the judgments. He had
Yes.
to choose pestilence or running from your enemy, or what was the third one again?
I don't recall it. But,
He had to.
He was free.
There was three. Yeah, so it was either.
Or 3 months of famine.
3 months of famine. That's the one. No, 7 years of famine.
It
Yes,
was 7
no,
years?
it was 7 years of famine, 3 months of running from your enemy,
Enemies, yeah.
or 3 days pestilence.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he made the
And
Most
he-
High choose.
Yes, he
You know what
chose
I'm
the
saying?
Most High because
Yeah.
he said he'll rather
Fall into the hands of the Most
Most
High.
High. That's it. Yeah.
that's someone who feared the Lord.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
definitely.
That's someone who feared
Yeah,
Yahweh,
yeah.
man. So you're gonna make mistakes, right? But because you fear Yahweh, you always come back